Hi everyone, it's Rax, bringing you what I think to be a very, very exciting video today. I want to tell you a little story, but we have a document here that has every idea that we could possibly think of to make Diablo 3 a better game. And you have the chance to participate in it and give us your ideas as well. Let me tell you a tiny little story on how this came to be. I sent Blizzard a message about 3 weeks ago and I said, hey, listen, you guys have been doing an amazing job with Diablo 3 in like the last year. The first 8 or 9 years, Diablo 3 essentially got nothing. In the last year, if you haven't been playing Diablo 3 lately, the developers have been doing a much better job of making the game way better and giving us really good seasons. And I said, listen, is there ever an opportunity to talk to you guys in a meeting or something? I have like 1,000 ideas of just how to make the game better, not just within a season. And they responded to me and they said, Rax, we don't even need to have a meeting on it. Make a document. If you make a document of the things that you think would make the game better, we will read it and consider it. And I said, you want to know what? I'm going to do you one better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write a document. Then I'm going to share it with my friends on Maxroll and get their feedback and put it into the document. Then I'm going to start reaching out to a bunch of content creators and a bunch of players. I'm going to have them read it and put in their feedback. And then the final step, I'm going to post it on YouTube right here and the official forums and Reddit. And I'm going to let you guys have at it. You guys can comment, you guys can upvote your favorite things, or you can downvote them if you don't like them. And I'm going to read them. And then I'm going to take the best ideas and put them into this document. And then I'm going to send it to Blizzard. I'm going to say, all right, you asked for a document. I literally asked pretty much everyone in the world that I could possibly think of, and I tried to make you the best possible document I could. So what I'd like to do is take you through what we have here right now. And then I'd love to hear your feedback down in the comments, and I will read them. I'm going to read them on the official forums, Reddit, and YouTube, and I'll post the links down below. Obviously, here on YouTube, you can respond here, but I'll post the links for the Reddit and the official forums where you can respond there. So first of all, the first thing to understand is this has nothing to do with class-specific stuff. If we were going to talk about class-specific stuff, this document would be like 1,000 pages long. Currently, it's 9 pages of non-stop ideas. Okay, so that's already a lot. We're never going to get all of this ever. But it's going to be into 4 different categories. Important, which is we need this in the game. Nice to have is we would like this, but if we don't get it, we're not going to cry. Wishlist is like a totally new idea. It's not in the game. Totally new idea. And contested is not everyone agrees. Some people think you should do this and some people don't. So they'll have a meeting and they can figure out what they want to do. I was going back and forth about whether I should go through all of this, but I don't think there's any way around it. So I'm going to be very quick here and I'm going to very quickly go through everything. So if you want to pause the video, get a snack, go get a drink. Here we go. Important. And by the way, this is not really in any particular order. I'm just vomiting ideas. Blizzard can figure out their priority for it. Number 1, Nerf Paragon. All we're doing is grinding for +5 main stat. Everybody hates it. Another problem with Paragon is how it scales. It gives you way more toughness than it gives you damage. That's why some people, they'll watch me stream and be like, Rax, how are you playing that build? I put it together and I can't survive. Well, I can survive because I'm Paragon 3000 and you can't because you're Paragon 500. You just can't survive. So they need to not only get rid of the endless grind here, but they also need to figure out about exactly how it scales. There just need to be some changes to the system. It's probably the biggest problem in Diablo 3. Ban the botters, account shares, and THUD users. Every season is won by an illegitimate player. This is pretty obvious. Blizzard needs to do way better job of policing this. Improve the UI. There are a million things you could do to make the UI better. I can't see my friend's COE rotations. I can't see Flying Dragon buff. I can't see my Stricken stacks on the Rift Guardian. I can't see my health and mana values unless I mouse over it. I can't see my shield values. Any wizard players in chat? That's an absolute nightmare. I can't see my wildebeest values either. Elites aren't on the mini-map. I mean, if Diablo Immortal has it and we don't, that's kind of sad. It would be nice if they put a J for Juggernauts as well, because Juggernauts are way harder to kill than everything else. Put the pylons on the mini-map when they're spawned. Even if they're in the fog that we can't see, put the icon there. That way we know that we've spawned it, right? Show the rift percentage all the time. It only shows you at 95% plus. This would be helpful to know at any time. If we could have a different background for ancient items, that would be nice. That would help me salvage faster. If they made the question mark on the unidentified rings smaller, you could see what the ring is before identifying it and, salvage most of them. And another great thing would be to let players choose their icon on the minimap, so then you could tell who's who. Fix modding, hacking, and cheating on consoles. I mean, most of the console leaderboards are just completely ridiculous. They need to go in and do a complete change there. I'm not sure where we're going to get it. Another thing that I pointed out is wizards on consoles have just absolutely dominated for like 10 million seasons because they can channel while using other abilities. So it would be nice if if they would fix that. And also the Nephalem glory thing is a catastrophe on console, but not a problem for PC. So we are also thinking of the console players. Give stacked loot to all players. Have you ever noticed when, like, sometimes you'll get your loot thrown everywhere and other players have it stacked in a perfect little line? That's because the host of the game gets spread loot and everybody else gets stacked loot. So if you're playing by yourself, guess what? You're the host and it's spread everywhere. So this is a massive buff for solo players and also for the party leaders. Improve pet AI. This is an absolute nightmare. Pet builds are actually extremely popular. The most powerful build in the game right now is LOD Wave of Light. LOD Wave of Light is a pet build. Your mimics from Rabid Strike do all of your damage, and they are so dumb. The best pet in Diablo 3 is a Skeletal Mage. You summon it, it attacks who you moused over until they die. They switch targets instantly. They never get stuck on anything. They move super fast. They follow you perfectly. And it would be also great if we could have telestomping with our pets like in Diablo 2. So fix the pet AI, please, Blizzard. Have them target better. Have them follow you better. Look at the Necro Skelly Mage as a template. Buff solo bounties. This is pretty self-explanatory. Bounties in groups are 1,000 times better because you just split up and get them done. And bounties in general suck. Anyway, so we need it to be better for the solo players. Improve crafting. I mean, I could write a 10-page paper on just this. We're just sitting there rolling for a specific affix. I wish it would just keep re-rolling and keep spending our mats until we hit it. The cube animations keep playing and playing and playing. Just let us instantly use our recipes. Some of them are very slow. Convert 100 materials at a time. Is there a way we can do this 1,000 times faster? Could we get an upgrade all button for recipe 3 when you're upgrading yellows? Craft a set of yellows, press one button, upgrade them all. You know what I mean? There's 1,000 things we could do here. Reduce the lag. This is a much bigger problem on EU than it is on NA. Some people have pointed out, yeah, it is a problem on NA, but EU has it a lot worse. We just need lag to be better. Another huge problem is area damage. Area damage is just such a stupid idea, and I know the Diablo team hates it, and I would not be opposed with them just removing area damage out of the game. It's a huge reason why that everybody lags. Or maybe you keep area damage and you cap the number of targets it hits. I don't know, anything. Buy more hamsters for the wheel, whatever. Something to reduce the lag. Let us instantly close Nephalem rifts. That 30-second timer, I understand why it's there, so you can go back in and pick up your loot, especially if you're in group play. But you need to give us an option to instantly close it, because so many times when we click that button, we're ready to go straight into the next one. This is a huge point of contention. Add account-wide followers or a follower armory. The account-wide followers is much better. When you're making alts and you make an enchantress on your first character, the gear that you would want on your enchantress on your second character is like 99% the same. Why doesn't my enchantress just work for all of my characters? Then people say, well, how would it work in hardcore? I don't care. You can pick either option. You can either kill my Enchantress if I die, or you could not kill my Enchantress. It doesn't matter. I'll build her again. It's not a huge problem to make a follower. But the fact that I have to keep moving my gear from my Barb to my Monk to my DH, or craft craft 4 Enchantresses that are exactly the same, neither of those options make any sense. So for the love of God, please give us account-wide followers for the people that like to make alts. Fix the Dream Rifts. This might be getting a little bit more advanced. Some of the casuals may not understand this, but we have a problem in Dream Rifts. Some of the maps are not good. Shrouded Moors and Desolate Sands. They could add Silver Spire, but I'm very, very cautious to suggest this to Blizzard. It has to be the God Spire, or a huge layout of Spire. There's so many versions of it that are bad. This is a very, very scary suggestion, which is why we have to use caps lock. Mob types, Toxic Lurkers and Dark Berserkers are absolute trash. We need to replace them with Slashers and Vile Swarms. If I'm not speaking your language, just trust me. We're right on this one. They could turn the vignette down. On the PTR, you couldn't even tell that it was a Dream Rift, so we said to turn it up. But now on live, when you get a Dream Rift, it explodes with a ton of, sometimes you can't even see anything. So they need to turn it down slightly. And a new idea that somebody had was, instead of opening a Dream Rift, or maybe in addition, sometimes randomly in regular rifts, drop a consumable that opens a Dream Rift. That way you can actually use it when you're pushing, instead of, I think this was actually Riker. I think this was Riker's idea. That way you can actually use the Dream Rifts when you're actually pushing. If you get a Dream Rift in speeds, it's nice. I'm not going to lie. I like to see it, but it's just nowhere near as valuable as when you're pushing. Remove or buff bad maps. I think there's 31 maps in the game, and these 4 I think are definitely the worst. Another contender could be Spaghetti, but Blizzard has already nerfed the spawn rate of Spaghetti so low that you actually barely see it anymore. But these maps you see all the time, and they are absolute garbage. So I would like it if they would, I want them to just remove it. I don't want any of these solutions. I want you to just remove them. You still have 27 maps. That's a lot. But if you refuse to remove them, buff their density, make them smaller, decrease their chances of appearing like you did with Spaghetti, or open up their layouts so we can do something on them. Do something, please. These 4 are just such garbage. And then in Nephalem Rifts only, we need to remove Shrouded Moors. If you don't know what Shrouded Moors is, again, take my word for it. It's the worst map by far. It's absolute garbage. It's universally hated by every player and every build. You can't save it. But don't remove them in Greater Rifts, because Shrouded Moors is one of the best maps in Greater Rifts. So don't remove it in Greater Rifts. Buff the bad mob types. We asked them to do this last patch, and they did it. They buffed Archers, Shamans, Oppressors, and Comedy Comp. Remember when we asked you to do that? Thank you for doing that, but it wasn't enough. They're all still the worst mob types in the game. They need a buff. If you don't know what any of that means, trust me, they need a buff. Redesign Pools of Reflection. Ooh, this is a good one. You know those little yellow pools that you can click on that give you XP? You may be shocked to find out that those XP pools are super powerful for the very high Paragon players, for the blasters, for the elite players. It gives them so much extra XP, it's crazy. But for the casual players, it provides you with essentially nothing. Absolutely nothing. So it's completely backwards. You're helping the elite blasters while giving no benefit to the casuals. You need to do something here. You either need to totally turn that around and either make it even or benefit the casuals more with the pools, or just get rid of them. If you keep them in the game, though, another thing is, you know the little bovine bardishes that open the cow rift in the cube? Every single time you open one of those, it is guaranteed to spawn 2 pools. But the bovine bardishes are not smart looted to all classes. For example, you're pretty much never going to find one playing a demon hunter. So that's why we're asking, make bovine bardishes a smart loot drop for all classes if you keep pools of reflection in the game. But if you just remove them, then that will help the casuals tremendously because it will take away a huge benefit to the blasters. Remove spinners from Nem'd Pylons. Have you ever been playing a build, you nemesis a pylon, and it spawns the spinners, you attack them, they reflect your attack back at you, and it one-shots you? That's stupid as hell. There's no value add to the game by having it. It's unfair to hardcore players. It's dumb. So just remove them. And later on, we'll talk about them being in the actual game. Another thing is kill rats. Rats have been essentially the #1 XP meta for like, I don't know, 5 straight years. And they're only good because there's 2 bugs with them. First of all, Requiem Seraplate and Devour gives them like infinite essence. This lets them spawn infinite singularity mages, which is why they crush. And also Sims cast mages, but they shouldn't with Haunted Visions equipped, but they do. These are 2 bugs. If Blizzard just fixes these bugs, rats are going to be dead, and that's going to be very good for us because the XP meta will constantly shift every season and we'll get to play different stuff. Fix Rift Guardian quirks. I won't bore you with this. A lot of the Rift Guardians do very bizarre, crazy things that shouldn't happen. Here's the list if you want to read it. Fix that stuff. Stabilize PTRs. The way I described it is it's like climbing a rope ladder at a state fair. You ever tried to test something on the PTR, the public test realm, and you just endlessly crash and lag and you can't do anything? I said, make a queue to get in the PTR or put some extra hamsters on the wheel or feed them Chipotle or something. And give us a way to reroll our gear faster if you don't mind. And the final important thing that we have here is rebalancing pylons. 99% of this game is just fishing for a conduit pylon for a rank 1 clear. This sucks. You go for a conduit in the regular rift and then you go for a power on the boss. Shield, speed, and channeling are very further behind. Now, there have been a lot of discussions on this. There are so many of them. There's like 1,000 different ideas about what they should do with pylons. I'm not going to get into all of them. Believe me, I've heard more than I care to hear. Remember, the point here is to point it out to Blizzard. Here's the problem. Conduit's too strong. Power's too strong on the boss. Usually these 3 suck. It just turns into very, very stupid fishing. Now that we've told you the problem, you at Blizzard think of the 1,000 different ways that you want to fix it and pick your favorite one. But there's a lot of different ideas on how to do this, but let's not get into it. Now let's move into the nice to haves. These won't completely change the game, but we would like to have these if we can get them. Make pets auto pick up Death's Breast crafting materials and gems. T16 in Diablo 3 is just a super speedy game mode. That's what the game has become. Unless they completely redesign Diablo 3, it's never going to be anything except instant detonation of T16. With that in mind, it is so dumb all the time, every 3 seconds, to stop, pick up, stop, pick up, stop, pick up. It's not fun at all. It's not necessary either. So after 10 years of breaking our backs and picking it up with the power creep that's come on, please give us a way for pets to pick it up. Now, some people say that these are okay to pick up, the Death's Breast and the crafting materials, but they shouldn't auto pick up gems because gems are a thing that actually go into your inventory. My vote is pick up the gems too. I don't want to pick up any of this tedious crap, even if it goes into my inventory, but I had to put the note in there because that's what some people said. Allow us to close a greater rift in pools, or in groups, I mean. It's fantastic we can close it in solo. Why can't we close it in groups? If we need a vote, Rax is voting to close the Greater Rift. Do you agree? Yes. Boom. Port everyone to town, close the Greater Rift. That would be much better than making a new game. That's going to help us with the point above, reducing lag. Add follower AI settings. This might be a little bit more of an advanced thing, but the behavior of your follower can just almost completely lose you a clear. Go to my YouTube and go back to when I was doing 150 on every single class and watch my Necro clear. Watch my Enchantress on Hamlin. She almost single-handedly lost me the clear. So that's like the best example I could ever give you. We need like basic AI settings, like the warlock pets in WoW, like stand there and do nothing, or be aggressive and tank, or stay right next to me, or even I would love a Casper mode where they're like invisible and enemies can't even hit them. That would be fantastic. Just let me play by myself with the benefits of a follower. It would be so nice if you would give us some things here that would actually work. While we're talking about followers they got a redesign, and they are more valuable now, but they're more valuable in maybe not the right way. They just put on gear and give you powers. But what they actually do, and they have better skills, but what they actually are doing in the game is not really as impactful as it could be. For example, followers never do any damage. Now, they shouldn't be insanely powerful, but do they really have to do nothing? It would be cool if you actually had to give them good stats and primals and a good weapon, and maybe they do, a little something. Maybe they do 5% of your damage or something. Be probably hard to design, but that would be nice. Another thing is followers really don't give you any bonus XP, which would be a nice way to bridge the XP gap between solo players and group players, which is currently a huge difference. That would be nice as well. Change challenge rifts. I don't think there's a human being. I would be willing to bet a large sum of money that there's no one who has done more challenge rifts in Diablo 3 than I have. I've been making guides for EU and NA for 1,000 years, and no one hates challenge rifts more than I do. The whole system needs a change. Everything about it has got to change. Again, there's 1,000 different ideas on how to fix it. Everything about its current system sucks, from auto-picking a bad build, to sometimes it doesn't work on consoles, to every region has a different one, but some regions share it. And there's only one time to beat when there could be different tiers with different rewards, how there's absolutely nothing for winning the leaderboards. There's 1,000 things wrong with it. Challenge rifts just need a complete rework. Rework the worthless legendary gems. I was going to list them here, but Blizzard knows what they are. Blizzard's not stupid. Mirane, Teardrop of the Star Weaver, etc. You use like Bane of the Trap, Bane of the Stricken, Tagak, Enforcer, sometimes Wildebeest Gizzard, once in a while Gogok, Esoteric, and that's pretty much it. And there's probably one at Bane of the Powerful. There's a couple that I missed there. There's like 10 gems that you use, and all the rest of them are pretty much garbage. Could really use a rework here. Normal gems haven't evolved in Diablo 3 ever. You put an emerald in your weapon, you put a diamond in your helmet, you put your main stat in your armor, or you put diamonds for all resist, or you do the Christmas tree alternating rubies and emeralds for the armor on the int classes, and it's always the same thing. I can explain to you how to use normal gems in every situation in Diablo 3 in like 8 seconds. That's probably the design. That's probably the function of a bad design. Let's spice it up. Let's do something interesting with normal gems. Give us some decisions to make here. Rework rarely used passive skills and runes. This is self-explanatory. There's so many of them in the game nobody uses. Enable cross-region gameplay. We can do this on the PTR. Why can't I play with Rob and Woody? They play on EU. Why can't I play with them on NA? You'd have to figure out how the leaderboards would work, though. Maybe cross-region gameplay wouldn't count toward leaderboards. But at least I could speed farm with my friends or something. Or maybe there is a leaderboard that's mixed. Or you just make all leaderboards global. I don't know, anything. But why can't I play with my friends across the pond? Make Ubers great again. Okay, so think about Ubers for a second. Any build instantly kills, any decent build instantly kills the Uber bosses on the highest difficulty. And they reward nothing. Hellfire rings and Hellfire amulets, in 99% of cases, are completely worthless. Just like challenge rifts, it just needs a complete rework. Balance the 1 to 70 experience. This is a hard one to do. I personally won't be upset if they never get to this, but there is a big difference in how fast you can level up like a Necro or a DH versus like a Crusader, for example. You just have to hit the lottery with your Challenger cash, with your upgrading, with this and that and this and that. It's just not fair. And it's a hard thing to make fair. I understand this. So I don't think we're ever going to get this, but if they could balance it, that would be nice. Another thing is a lot of people consider the 1 to 70 journey, I'm one of them, like the most fun part of the season. The season starts and everyone's leveling. I wouldn't be upset at all if they made it harder. I wouldn't be upset at all if they got rid of the Challenger of Cash and you had to actually just level up 1 to 70 on your own brute force. I actually think that would make it more fun. Not everyone will agree with that, but remember, there's a famous rule. Everyone is entitled to their own wrong opinion. Another thing, I've heard this 1,000 times, being the challenge drift guy. Reset the challenge drift on season launch. How many of you have done your challenge drift on the Monday through Thursday leading up to a season accidentally and not been able to claim the cash when the season starts? That's the worst feeling ever. If challenge drifts caches are still going to be a thing on season launch, when the season launches, reset the challenge drift. Even if it's the same challenge drift on Monday, just reset it. That way people can never make that mistake. Or don't start the challenge drift on that week until Friday of that day. Whatever solution you want to do, or don't reset it, just let them do the challenge drift again, or let them claim that challenge drift Monday through Thursday on their seasonal character after they create it. There's like 7 different ways you can fix it. Pick any of them, but let them get their challenge drift cash on season launch. Continue reworking worthless legendaries. They're still doing that. You wouldn't believe how many legendaries in this game are still completely worthless. They're doing a good job, but keep doing that. Be consistent with mid-season buffs. Sometimes we get them, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we get them really far into the season. Sometimes we get them early into the season. Sometimes they're very helpful. Sometimes they're totally worthless. It's just a catastrophe, right? So I would say 1 month in, give us a non-trivial bonus. Not halfway. Halfway through the season, we've lost everybody, especially because now they do 4-month seasons. Two months in is too late. So a mid-season buff is a bad name for it anyway. But 1 month in, give us something non-trivial, something that actually helps us, like double bounties or double GR keys. I would kill for that. Double blood shards, not the best, but not bad. More XP, take that any day. Anything, but not double goblins. And some of you in chat may be saying, some of you watching may be saying, I love double goblins, Rax. No, you don't. Double goblins is worthless. These things are way better. Trust me. Rearrange certain buttons. There's like the customer service button, the leave game button, the exit Diablo button. How many of you guys have accidentally clicked these buttons? It would be so great if they put it somewhere else, like except for like where they are, so they're harder to click. So you only click them when it's deliberate. Another thing is every single thing in the game gives you a prompt that says, are you sure? Like when you salvage a legendary, are you sure? I mean, I've clicked this button like literally 30,000 times. But the one button in the game that I want to have an are you sure button, exit Diablo, doesn't have an are you sure button. So the only button in the whole game I want to have this prompt doesn't have it. I think it makes sense to add it there. Notify us of changes to the game. They just released an update, a hotfix, and they didn't say anything, and they completely nerfed the Condemned Crusade. Some people were playing it and enjoying it. It just went down 1,000,000 tiers. So please let us know when you hotfix something in the game, because we just found out by surprise. Make the Haedrigs gifts and the challenge drift caches separate on softcore and hardcore, meaning you can claim it on both. So why can't we claim it on both? They're completely different game modes, and some people like to play both. It's like you do one thing, and you have to choose where you claim it. That's not fun. Make potions craftable. Why can't we craft these? Either give us a recipe or just have Squirt sell them for a massive amount of gold and let us buy the potion that we want. Potions are not important, but in the one moment that you need one, you have to do like 1,000 greater ifs until it magically drops. You know, let us craft it. Here's an interesting one, dial back gambling. So with how fast builds have become and how powerful builds have become, you can get the blood shard cap. By the way, why is there a blood shard cap? Why can't I have like 10,000 blood shards? But I'm gonna add it here. Yeah. By the way, why is there a blood shard cap? And or why is it so low at 2,000? Can we make it 10K or 100K? Put a smiley face. Maybe that'll give us a better chance. Anyway, you can acquire 2,000 blood shards in a few minutes. Boom. Just doing the brain dead build. Boom, 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 boom. 2,000 blood shards. And then you know what you do? You sit there and you gamble just a huge sea of yellows and blues, salvage, yellows and blues, salvage, yellows, and you get like a few legendaries. 90% of them suck. 10% are what you want. They're non-ancient. They suck, and you salvage it. It would be nice not really to nerf gambling. Gambling gives you a decent amount of materials that you need to do crafting. And it's not like it gives you that many legendaries, but is there an idea where we aren't spending so much time spending blood shard, blood shard, blood shard, blood shard, blood shard endlessly? Anything that they can think of would be nice. Fix the Armory Tetrising. So whenever you switch builds in the Armory, is there any rhyme or reason to where it throws your stuff? Sometimes it puts it in your inventory, it throws it in your stash, can never find it ever. If it just had its own designated spot or its own designated tab, let's put /tab, that would be great. Make the search button highlight legendary gems within jewelry. Have you ever known that like your Bane of the Trapped was in some jewelry and you search Bane of the Trapped, and you can't find it, and you have to manually look through every single thing to find the one piece of jewelry that it's stuck in? If you search for Bane and it's stuck in a piece of jewelry, please highlight it. Reevaluate pre-rolled stats on certain legendaries. There are some legendaries that always roll with a bad stat. Ring of Royal Grandeur always rolls with attack speed. That usually sucks. Compass Rose and Flavor of Time roll with movement speed. And Iron Rose and Ledger's Disdain, any Necros out there? You always have Vitality. You don't want Vitality on your offhand. So please don't doom us to always have a bad stat on these items. At least let it be a random roll, not a guaranteed bad roll. It would be nice to have a new gold and a consumable sync. We have so much gold. I have 140 billion right now. I have 300 Ramaldni's gifts. I have 150 Echoing Nightmare keys. I realize that my experience is not the same as everybody else's. I get it. There are people that barely play the game that don't have that. But once you get an efficient build and you start pumping, you'll never run out of these things, no matter how much you like using them. It would be nice if there was a way to do something with them. Let us salvage them, or let us turn them into GR keys with the recipe. But you can't make this so powerful that the new meta becomes to farm vaults all day. Nobody wants to do puzzle rings all day. Well, some people out there want to do puzzle rings all day. Not me. Say Paragon allocations in the Armory. You ever been playing a build that needs different vitality values, or it doesn't need the movement speed points or needs them, or it needs the bonus resources and another one of your builds doesn't save the Paragon points? Why? Save the Paragon points for each build, please, and just give us more stash space. I mean, we might as well take a stab at it, right? Probably not going to get it, but we might as well ask. Wish list, things that are not in the game that we would like to put in the game. Add a solo self-found mode with leaderboards. Like, you make the character, you're in solo self-found mode, and you can never group, and let's do that. Beware, though, the bots and the account sharers are going to dominate here. Gotta ban them. It's going to happen. Add an endgame system, like anything. PoE has a gotta catch 'em all mapping system. We want something like that in D3. You could tie it to Greater Rifts, but it cannot be try to beat your previous GR tier. That's what we've been doing for 10 years. And something that doesn't force us to do things that we hate, like set dungeons and bounties. It should progress towards something. You want to know what this could be, is this endgame system could be a much more powerful and expanded seasonal journey. Some kind of actual real test of playing through a season. Some people may think that the seasonal journey is already that. It takes them a long time to get it done. and it's a big test. I understand that. There are some people that feel that way. I can complete the entire seasonal journey in like a day, like 24 hours, brand new character, even on a bad class, like even on the weakest class, I could still beat the whole thing probably in a single day. So if the season lasts 4 months and somebody can beat it in a day, that's not really a thing, right? People can't beat the PoE every single Uber boss and their whole mapping system in a day, can they? We need to salvage all legendaries button at the blacksmith. I can't tell you how many legendaries I salvage every day. It's probably thousands. And every single time I have to hit enter. So every single day I hit enter thousands of times. Are you sure you want to salvage this garbage legendary? Yes. Are you sure you want? Yes. Yes. I've been sure for the last 10 years. So maybe you could put a prompt with the salvage all legendary. Are you sure? And then you say yes, and it asks you again. Ask them again. Are you really sure? Yes. 2 enters is way better than 30, or however many inventory slots there are. Or you give a 3-second countdown and you have to hold it. Are you sure you're going to salvage them all in 3, 2, 1? Gone. Anything to salvage all the worthless legendaries in my inventory. And give us, a prompt to protect us against it. But if you had a really good item in your inventory and you messed it up, I'm sorry, but you lost it. A cool idea would be, this is like what challenge rifts should have been. Add a new game mode called Challenge the Rank 1 Clear. Let me give you an example. Let's say I got the Rank 1 Talrasha Wizard clear today. Well, on the weekends, it pops up Challenge Rax's Rank 1 Clear on Wizard. You get my Wizard, same gear, same follower, same everything, same map, same mob types, everything, same pylons, and you go try to clear it. And the first time you do it, maybe I cleared it in 10 minutes, maybe you failed it. You tried for 20 minutes and you were dying and you couldn't figure it out and you lost. But then you can try again. All right, let me try this again. Okay, I'm figuring out Talrasha now. I'm seeing how this works. Maybe there's even a video that you can see. Oh, here, you can watch Rax's clear if you want. Here's how he did it. Now you try to do it. And maybe there's like a gold, silver, and bronze. The gold time would be maybe within 30 seconds of how I did it. Or maybe you can even beat my time. Because when I played it, it was the first time seeing the map. I didn't know how it was going to go. You have the advantage of playing it 10 times, and you know exactly where everything is. You can pull everything exactly to the conduit and just nuke them, kill them instantly. Go to the power pylon and murder the boss, You actually, with practice, could do it better than me. This would be a lot more fun than the stupid challenge rifts, because you would actually be playing a great build. You would probably be playing on a really good map. You'd probably be playing with a really good mob type. And I think this would be 1,000 times more fun than the challenge rift idea. They're the current version of challenge rifts. So it's an idea for a new game mode that you can play. Do you have to play it? No. It's just for fun if you want to do it. Maybe there would be a leaderboard. Who could do Rax's Talrasha Wizard clear the fastest? And maybe there's a really good wizard player out there, tries it 30 times and clears it in 5 minutes faster than me. Awesome. That'd be great. Another thing, add more ring and amulet combinations. Every single build takes squirts, focus and restraint, traveler's pledge, compass rose, COE. Is what every single build does. There's no variance to it. So it would be nice if they could get something else besides this. Remove the identification of consumables. Why do we have to identify angelic crucibles and Ramaldnis? They're always the same. Just drop them identified. Why are we identifying them? I don't even understand. Add crucibles and other rare endgame consumables currencies to the game. This is one of the reasons why Diablo 2 and Path of Exile are fantastic games. Because they have these like really rare consumables and currencies that do something that matter that you're trying to hunt for. Doesn't exist in Diablo 3. Kind of, with Echoing Nightmares and Ramaldnis and Crucibles, but they're so common. So there's like a lot of ideas on things you could do for that. Expand the use of Ramaldni's gifts. Ramaldni's gifts, any given player needs like 10 of them per season, and you don't need any more. Maybe you need 15 if you're making a bunch of alts or something. And if you play the game regularly at all for any period of time with any decent build, you're going to find like 100 of them. So can they do something else? Can we have more use for them? Adding more pieces to the Guardian set would be nice, because a lot of builds early on really like to use this set. It's a nice starter set, but its limited pieces don't give it much use across a lot of the different classes. Final thing, might as well ask. They said before Diablo 3 was going to announce that we were going to get PvP, but we never got it. Where's our PvP? Now we get into the contested things, and these are things that the content creators couldn't agree on. So if you read anything here and you're really mad and you don't want that, it's already under contested. Some people don't want it. And if you're reading here, like on this first one, and you're really mad that there's anyone in the world that wouldn't want this, then go ahead and get your pitchforks out. Starting with Woody, allow teleports through walls and doors. I despise that we do not have this in the game, but Woody doesn't want us to have it. So we have our target. We need to go get him. But please, Blizzard, please let me dashing strike through a keeps. Please. Or you want to know what? Just remove doors in general. Why are there doors in the game? Here's a contested one. Remove Illusionist Enslaved Nightmares. I bet you there is a huge amount of you that don't even know what this is. An Enslaved Nightmare is a minion, or an Enslaved Nightmare is a monster that makes many monsters. But there's a cap on how many they can make. But if you have a yellow terror demon elite, they have a chance to have Enslaved Nightmares as their minions. If the terror demon gets Illusionist, the Enslaved Nightmare minions become illusions. And the Illusionist Enslaved Nightmares can spawn infinite number of ads. So can Illusionist Rat Callers, so can Illusionist Summoners that come from the Unburieds, and so can Illusionist Maggot Broods. So the thought here is to remove these from the game. The reason why is they let you get, you know how to use them, if you pull them to a corner, if you let them spawn, if you kill enough trash to spawn a Condi and Condi it down, it lets you clear an otherwise impossible GR tier for your build. So some people like the fact that you can win the lottery and do this, but most people don't even know what this is or how to do it. So that's why you might see a clear like 5 tiers higher than everybody else in the world. And everyone just sits around and wonders, did that person get Illusionist Enslaved Nightmares? And like half of the time the answer is yes, which is just a stupid way to win. I would be fine if they removed it. If they don't, it's very, very rare to find them anyway, but here's a bunch of information about that. Make immunities to crowd control protect against Wormhole. When a Wormhole spawns, doesn't matter. If you step in it, you're getting thrown away. But why don't immunities to crowd control protect against it? The argument against fixing this is we should be more worried about affixes, not less. Add RNG smoothing to certain events. How many of you have ever played a seasonal start and you can't find a Ramaldni's gift? Paragon 600, 700, 800, and you can't find one, and it's driving you crazy. RNG smoothing to some things could help you here, but the idea of it is not to buff the event. The idea is not to give you more Ramaldni's gifts. It's to smooth the rate at which you get them. So you add a pity timer for a Ramaldni's gift. You know, every GR you do increases your chance to get a Ramaldni's gift until you get one, and then it resets. But in order for that to work, you have to drop the base chance for it to actually drop to even it out. Whatever. I'm sure Blizzard can figure out the math, and if they can't, then we can do it for them. It's not a big deal. But every system that you would implement here would need its own counter. Otherwise, people would exploit it. If I really want an Echoing Nightmare drop, maybe there's a way that I can do a certain event that has a very low chance to drop Ramaldnis, but I build up the counter, and then I switch over to the game mode where, the Echoing Nightmare keys drop, and then I get it to drop. People will find a way to exploit it one way or another. So each pity system would have to be its own unique counter. Here's another one. We talked about this earlier. Remover or change the projectile reflection from the Dune Dervishes and the Sand Dwellers. Now, we had it up above that you had to remove it from the Nem'd Pylons. And I think these two are different. When you remove spinners from Nem'd Pylons, this isn't like, it's not really a choice that you've made. When I pull an entire room to a power pylon, and I want to click the power pylon and try to nuke them down, if I spawn an elite with spinners, my run is over. I just lost. It's like, I don't know what the chance is, like a 1 in 5 chance to just lose. Because I'm playing hardcore, and if they one-shot me, well, I'm dead. So to me, tying that RNG to an activity that you already have to do, you have to use a power pylon when you spawn one in a rift some way to make some use out of it. To me, this is very unfair to the player. Now, it's a contested thing about whether you should remove them in the game. Certainly, walking around and getting one-shotted by a spinner or by a sand dweller doesn't feel good. It's stupid as hell. So if you remove it, I don't care. That's fine. However, there is some knowledge that you shouldn't be fighting those if you're playing hardcore if they can reflect your projectiles and you can see them. You can see them up ahead and you can walk the other way, right? To me, it's not as detrimental to see them in a rift as it is to unfairly spawn them with a pylon that you have to click. So I definitely want them removed from the Nem'd pylons. Whether they remove it or not in the game, I'm happy either way. But some people want it removed and some people don't. Whatever you want to do, Blizzard, I'm good. Let us gamble as other classes. You want to know what I have to do all the time? I get 2,000 blood shards. I log off my Demon Hunter. I go on my Monk. Gamble, gamble, gamble. Log on my Demon Hunter. Farm for 2 seconds. Back with 2,000. Gamble, gamble, gamble. Log off. Over and over and over. Right? I've had to do this for like four or five classes. Give me a drop down at Kadala and say I want to gamble as a monk. Gamble, gamble, gamble for bracers. Got my monk bracers. Let me get the crudest boots. There we go. Then I can just log on my monk and put on the gear. Why are we switching back and forth? Some people say that they don't want this because they say we should be spending more time on our alts and not less. That has nothing to do with this. Standing in town and pressing the gamble button is not playing your class. There is no one in the world who would classify it as that. So I really think they should implement this because I would love to pump my blood shards into the other classes way faster than logging in and out 10,000 times. Probably that would also help the servers and reduce lag as well. Reduce the insane power scaling. I mean, the ship has probably sailed here, but any method that they want for not having speed clear GR 150s would be great. People say, why don't they add more GRs? Because there's an integer overflow. Why don't they implement a penalty to your damage and defense and then add the higher GRs? Well, I don't know. There's 1,000 different ways you could solve it. If they can fix it, that's great. Some people like the insane power scaling, which is why it's uncontested. I'll take some of the other things over this, but it'd be nice to have. Add some new cube recipes. Now remember, these are very loosely defined and Blizzard would do different things here. But how about upgrading a non-ancient to an ancient? Okay, you find an Ingeom, your first Ingeom, and it needs to be ancient. Maybe you have a pretty moderate cost. It's not cheap, but you can upgrade it. Okay, fine. Or what about upgrading an ancient to a primal? But this would need an extreme cost. To get something to drop and make it a primal would need to be tremendous, right? That's what the seasonal theme here is essentially. It's angelic crucibles. What about re-rolling a primal? Taking the primal and re-rolling its stats. this would need an extreme cost, and it's contested. Some people don't like these ideas. That's fine. Corrupt an item like in Path of Exile. Give us a chance to really buff it, or to do nothing, or to brick it completely. I'm telling you for sure. If you give me a perfect primal item and you give me the option to corrupt it to make it a little bit better, I'll do it every time. Partly because I'm a content creator, but mostly because it's fun. Just send it. And let us convert bounty materials. They're literally never even ever. Like the issue is, oh, if you let us convert bounty materials, then everyone just does one act. I don't really know if this will happen. I'm not a bounty expert. I hate bounties, but people usually just do split bounties and get it done in 2 seconds anyway. I don't really know that this would be an issue. Rework jewelry itemization. This not just with jewelry, it's with anything. Pretty much every single piece of gear, you just take every offensive stat you possibly can with just a pinch of survivability. That's actually what I wrote here. Cool. A pinch of survivability. Why are all of our gearing decisions like that? It would be interesting if jewelry could not roll crit hit chance, crit hit damage, area damage. It just couldn't roll it. They're gone out of the pool. And then you're like, well, shit. All right. Jewelry is now my survivability pieces. Now I'm going to think about a different way, different kinds of ways to build my jewelry. I don't know, something more cerebral than crit, area damage, cooldown on every single piece would be so nice. Now this is a crazy idea, but it's in Diablo 2. Consider a system where you could acquire another skill from another class. This is like crazy territory. This might be like a seasonal theme, but like Enigma. It gives you teleport, which is crazy. It's like strongest item in the game. Imagine like a chicken witch doctor in T16, which is not that good, but now you give the chicken witch doctor dashing strike from a monk. Dash, 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 boom. Dash, 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 boom. Now all of a sudden we're opening KFCs all over Sanctuary, right? So yeah, how long has this video gone? 52 minutes. Oh my God. Oof. No one's gonna watch this video. All right. Anyway, let's wrap this up here. I'm sorry I did not know that it was gonna go this long. This is our document trying to make Diablo 3 better. We have some incredible players and content creators here. I reached out to more. If you're like, Rax, why is my favorite content creator here? I reached out to a lot more of them. This is the only people who responded to me. So I tried my best. This is going to go on the official forums and Reddit. We'll post the links down below somewhere. I'm sure you'll be able to find it. Or just go to the official forums and Reddit. I'm sure it'll be there. If you like the idea of this project that we've been working on, if you like that Blizzard said, they told us to make this document, they said that they would read it and try to do some stuff with it, then please do me a favor and upvote this or bump it, whatever it is that people do these days. I don't think I've ever made a post on the official forum, so it'll be my first one. So that'll be cute. I'm on Reddit all the time, so they know me over there. And if you have any suggestions, post them. I'm going to read it. I'm telling you, I'm going to read it. Just because you have a suggestion does not guarantee it will be in the document, but anything that makes some kind of sense, I'll get in there. All right? Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you guys for caring about Diablo 3. If you cared to listen to it, I listened to this video. I'm sorry that it went so long. I tried to talk as fast as I could. And I will see you guys in game, and I will provide an update when we submit the document, and maybe I'll ask Blizzard if they have any comments for us about, you know, they looked at it or if they got anything from it. I'll keep you posted, all right? Have a great day, guys, and post your ideas down below. Thank you.